Hey everyone, this is Mick for Life. I'm coming back with a second edition, or I guess whichever number this is, in the Ratchet Repair Berry series. My progress review, I showed you that they do include an additional shoulder. This one is much tighter. You can see just how hard it is as opposed to this one. I can just do this one hand. This one too, but I guess the weight of Impetus isn't as heavy as Assaultus. So they included this with Probus. Oh man, it's actually like really tight. So this is the guide on how to swap it. All you'll need is a Phillips head screwdriver, a small one. I don't know what this size is. This is maybe PH1. That's probably a good size. The biggest concern is you just have to make sure you can get into this these holes, which are pretty small, and there's another one that will be here for the ratchet piece. Also, you may want to have some kind of heat source, whether that be a heat gun, which I'll be using, or a hair dryer if you can get hot enough, or even a lighter if you're careful. The reason being is, here, let's open this up, is that ideally, honestly, you should pop this pin to avoid any kind of damage, potential damage, because this hinge here, you basically have to remove this top section on the shoulder to get access to getting this out. But like I said, you're gonna probably stress this section here, and so we're gonna try to minimize that. But if you do have any stretch marks, it's on the back side. It's pretty well hidden. But if you want to fix that, you can probably just use a heat gun. I'll show off how to do that. So first off, we'll just detach this. We'll detach this. I don't think this is attached to anything, but let's remove that just to get it out the way. What you'll need to do is remove these 4 screws. You really don't need to remove them, but at least all 4 of them, that is. You can just loosen up these back 2. And then these 2, I highly recommend you move, just because they can kind of get in the way when you're trying to pull stuff out. And the shoulder ratchet out. Here, we'll get rid of that one. And then this one here. Let me also caveat this by saying, I don't know, if you're not comfortable with repairs, it might not be worth it. Like I said, this one's really tight. I don't know how many of you are going to be posing this guy in a way that he has to have his arm up in any crazy form. And for me, the stock ratchets actually hold fine. It's just that if you like kind of move them around, it's not going to hold. So just be very mindful when you do this. It may not be worth it, because you could damage or break this piece, and that's going to be much, much harder overall to repair. So once you have that freed up, you basically want to just come in here and you want to jostle this up. So see how I'm doing this? You kind of want to keep this as low as possible, but the problem is you do need to open this up. And so in here, what I would recommend is once you lift this up, you should tilt this around and then slide it out this way. So see, there's a narrow side. So this is how it goes installed, with these pieces vertical. This one as well. But to minimize how wide you need to open it, I would recommend you kind of push this up and then rotate this out sideways and slide it out this way. Once you have that, the hard work is pretty much done. You go ahead and unscrew one more screw here. This is the screw that's holding the ratchet pieces together. There is one screw there. Oops, sorry, just popped that out. And then you want to be careful not to lose a spring, but this fits in like that. So you'll remove this. On the other side is just a pegged on piece that you'll go ahead and peg on. There's no way to mix these up because there's one ratcheted side. So when you reassemble it, you're going to want to get the spring inside this blue piece, the ratcheting piece, or the teeth facing out. You're going to put this in. You're going to bring this other piece in with the screw, and you're going to want to basically turn until you can see how it collapses in. You got to turn it until it does that. So once it collapses in, hold that in. You might have better luck if you like turn it a little bit, right? So if you can, go ahead and align it so that it's easy to slide in. All right, so we're going to just do the reverse. We want to make sure these are basically even. We're going to lift this up as little as possible and slide this in, and then we're going to have to rotate it up, okay? So that this is ultimately facing up. So let's do that. Be very careful. I'm supporting the back here as to not let it stress too much on that side. There we go. And then again, rotate it up. Make sure both sides are rotated up that way. This side was already rotating with me. If it gets stuck, you can use like a little spudger, or you can get your fingernail just to make sure it's rotated up. Squeeze this down, and you can rotate this back into place. Once that's done, you're really done. You just have to screw these back on. I thought it was nice that they included this, because I did point out in my Assaultus review that he does sag down a little bit. But I really would have liked if they had given two, just to make it a bit more even. I think it is kind of weird that they only gave you one. All right, so coming to the back here, I don't know if you can see, but hopefully you can. There's a slight stress mark here. That's so minor that it shouldn't really matter to most people, but if it does, again, if you have a heat gun or even a hairdryer, as long as it gets hot enough, I'm using my heat gun on low. You just have to heat it up for a few seconds. Depending on what you're using and how hot it is, regardless, don't just focus it on one spot, kind of get it moving around so you don't melt the plastic. So I'm going to turn mine on low. You're going to get this sound, but just bear with me, and I'll just rotate it around a bit. And that's it. So I don't know, again, we'll try to focus in here to see if you can see it, but now that stress mark is gone, and we can reassemble Assaultus. So just go ahead and tab that in, have this in back here, fold that in, peg those into the side, and then close up the chest. And that's it. So that's your Ratchet repair bay for how to replace the Assaultus shoulder. I also have the official video manual on Mastermind Creations official channel, but I wanted to do this one to explain at least my thought process on this, because in those manuals I don't traditionally speak, so we just use the background music here, but I thought an explanation was warranted, and again, I wanted to do some more of these Ratchet repair bay videos. So hopefully if you guys got your Assaultus and Probus, you're able to do this swap with minimal effort. Again, if it's not bothering you, I would recommend not even doing it, just because you are going to put some stress on here, and you might damage your figure more than it's actually worth switching. But with that, that's it for the review today. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below as always, and I'll give a reply to you as soon as possible with any tips or tricks. If there's any other repair like tutorials that you'd like to see, whether that be a specific figure or a general tutorial, let me know in the comment section. I'll try to get to that in the future. All right, that's all for today, everyone. Hope you have a good one.